When I tell you guys the most embarrassing thing just happened to me, please just bear with me. Like, to offer you guys a little bit of a preface, I've been talking to this one individual girl for the past 2 weeks straight. I am genuinely convinced she is my fucking soulmate, okay? And today, she decided to challenge my brattiness by sending me a very spicy text message. So I thought, in my fucking bratty little brain, why not send her a voice message to put her in her place? And when I say I sent her a voice message, it was a very inappropriate voice message. Now, just a little side note, because this is very important information. This girl hangs out with nothing but dudes. Nothing but dudes. And she is, for the most part, the king of the aux cord. Okay, so she is always the one playing music. So if you can't gather where the fuck this is going, let me break it down for you. So after having sent this very inappropriate voice message to her, I get a text message from her shortly thereafter saying that she accidentally played my message on Bluetooth. And all of her friends, all these men heard what I said. And I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, Jordan, it can't be that bad. Just wait. Some of her friends know me because of my TikTok. So I deadass told the girl I'm talking to, if I hear anything from your boys about what I said to you, I am contacting my lawyer. But now her friends are calling her daddy, so I think my work here is done.
I'm calling you daddy. Daddy. I love that for you. You better spice it up. Spice up your life. Spice up your life. Girl, yes. That's what I'm talking about. I love sending messages like that with people I'm talking to, and they knowing that somebody else gonna hear it. Embrace. Let out my inner freak, honey. Make everybody in the room blush. They need to know. They need to know what you working with. Let them know she winning. Like, you wish, you thought you could get me. You wish, honey, you wish. But she got, I love that for you, Fred. I hate that you were embarrassed because it was just like, okay, how could I see these people again? But I'm that person. So people just know and expect that from me. They expect that level of freakiness from me sometimes. So to each his all. I freaks with that friend. Go, boo. Make her wet, honey. Make it trip. Num.
Okay, you asked for it. Gay Asian dating horror stories. So I once went on a date with this guy who told me that the only reason that he went on a date with me is because he saw this really hot Asian guy in his gym. And after being inspired by that really hot Asian guy, he promised himself that the next guy that he dated would have to be Asian. He then proceeded to tell me that unfortunately, I was not as hot as that Asian guy at the gym, but I would do for now. I once had this guy ask me if I could speak Chinese. I'm not Chinese. And multiple times I've had guys try to guess which brand of Asian I am. Bonus points if they say they're an expert at this because they've dated a bunch of Asian guys. But one time I had this guy try to guess which kind of Asian I am, and he divided Asians between good and bad. I had a guy tell me that I wasn't as dark as he expected me to be. I had a guy tell me that, quote, Asian guys are usually really feminine, but you're okay, I guess. I had a guy tell me he wouldn't eat my ass because he said it would taste like kimchi. I had a guy ask me to be the banana to his brownie, which is actually really funny. And upon reflection, maybe that wasn't racially motivated. And then here's my favorite one. I had a guy ask me if I could bring chopsticks into the bedroom. And I don't want to think about that one for too long.
These fetishes, bruh. These kinks that people be having with, cultured people is wild to me. Put in the comments if you've ever had a cultural kink someone ever inflicted on you, or you've had one yourself. Because I have. People be fantasizing about me. The other races, they be like, ooh. Like, you should be, ooh, because blacker the berry, sweeter the juice. But yeah, that was wild, Fred. I can imagine, like, the stories he got. The stories, the banana to my brownie. That was wild. I can't even imagine chopsticks though. That's interesting. I can do something with chopsticks. Like, I kind of want to try that out, friend. Hey, how did that go? Because I know how it'll go for me. Okay. Break around and find out, honey. fork around and find out. You get it? Fork around and find, but it's chopsticks. We eating over here. We eating.
So when I was in high school, I used to go out with this girl, and one day we found ourselves in a little bit of a pickle because you know that sometimes when you're not out to your parents, you gotta sneak around a little bit and just kind of be a little bit crafty with how you link up with the girl in question. Yeah, that was the phase I was in when this went on. And so sometimes you just gotta park the car. You don't have your privacy of your own home because your parents are there, so sometimes you just gotta park the car, if you know what I'm saying. So this was one of those parked car moments. So obviously we were in there and we weren't like hooking up, it was just like a makeout, and the windows were getting steamy as fuck. The car was parked in the back of a CVS parking lot, and obviously the CVS was closed. Like, I'm pretty sure it was like closed down for business. Like, it was a shady ass spot to be parked, figuring no one was gonna do shit about it. But I mean, you're sitting there in a car with the steamy windows. Okay, what happens? Someone called the cops on us. So imagine me. I'm sitting there. I'm scared to be there in the first place. I'm scared to kiss a girl. I'm visiting her. And the fucking cops pull up behind with the police lights on, blue lights. And this guy's walking up to the window. I'm like, holy shit, what do I do? And she's like, we did nothing wrong. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Anyways, rolls down the window. The girl I'm with gets recognized by the cop because it's a small town and they just know people in there. He's like, well, lady, what would you think about your dad here and about this? And she's like, well, we didn't do anything wrong. You can search the car if you want to. And I'm like, what? She gets out. We both get out of the car. And he's like, yeah, all right. And he looks in the car, nothing in there. Officer, we weren't doing drugs. I never done drugs. We were just being gay. So he was like, so what were y'all doing in the car? And I was like, oh, fuck. And this bitch goes, oh, we were just waiting to see if a train would pass because we were parked next to the fucking train tracks, and it was intentionally supposed to be a sort of romantic thing to like go. We were like walking around the train tracks, and we happened to be in the car, happened to make out afterwards. Fuck, is that a fucking crime? Anyways, he was like, oh, okay. And anyways, I left. I was shook to my core. We got away with it.
Yo. Should I be scared of how good of a liar she was? She got here with a lie on a spy. She must have been a Libra. I love you guys. I love you. That was a cheap blow, but bro, you know. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I love you. But I feel you when you're talking about, oh, you live in a small town, so all the cops know you. My high school town was a small town, and all the cops knew us. Knew us for good and bad reasons. They knew us. Shoot, even when I was younger, the cops knew us because we was always doing something. Did I tell you guys about the time we got arrested for being black in a white neighborhood? Girl. I got arrested for being black in a white neighborhood. It was crazy because my friend lived in a white neighborhood with cops. I lived in a white neighborhood with cops. Like we went to a majority white school. So it was just like, yeah, we're the only specks here in this neighborhood. You know, like, yeah, we live here. That was a story, bro. We was walking the dog. At, you know, it was late hours, like midnight, 1 o'clock. But if you have dogs, you understand that sometimes you have to wake up just a little bit early at the crack of dawn or in the middle of the night to take your dog out. So we were walking the dog and the cops roll up. Burp, burp. Oh, and it's like, what are y'all doing? Do y'all live here? Wait, what? Yeah, we've heard that there were some teenagers being destructive. Some black male teenagers. Me and my friend looked at each other like, we're black women. So they go in, they put us in the cop car. She got her dog. We had her in the back of the cop car with her dog. We're trying to tell them, hey, no, we live here. We live in this neighborhood. She's like, no, call my neighbor. Her cop neighbor lives across the street from her house. Literally, this is her house. This is his house. They live across the street from each other. She babysits his kids. Like, we're just like, no, call him. He knows us. He knows that it was crazy. Good times in the South. Cause what the crap? But yeah, I've had that situation happen to me too. Spicy time in the car. Back in my younger days. Spicy time in the car and the cops pull up. Rup, rup. Like, what you doing? It's illegal to, you know, camp out in your car. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't even know it was illegal to sleep in your car. It was illegal to even have your car in the ignition. Apparently, you can get a ticket. If you have your car key in the ignition without a seatbelt, you can get a ticket. It's crazy. North Carolina, North Carolina just trying to get the monies. North Carolina ain't broke, honey. They trying to get the monties, honey. So yeah, we had went to this bar. I can't remember if it was karaoke night, but me and my first time serious girlfriend went to this bar and we got a little wasted. You know what we got wasted on? Beer cheese. We were drunk as freak off of beer. Well, I was drunk as freak out off of beer cheese. I was drunk. It was empty. But when I was in college, I went to college in the mountains. So beer and apple cider was a thing. Apple cider, more like moonshine. So all the clubs would have like penny beer. Like you get beer for a penny. So she would always take up on that offer, but I don't like beer because it tastes like pss. So I was just like, no, I'm gonna just eat this beer cheese and got fucked up. I'm a lightweight. This is why I don't drink, because I'm a lightweight. I can handle my liquor. Just know I'm gonna get drunk quickly. I'm just gonna get drunk quickly. So I'm drunk as freak off of beer cheese. And she drunk off of real beer. So we're just like, okay, so we're just going to sit here. We're going to sit here in the car and sober up because the bar had closed. So we were just like, well, we can't drive. Neither one of us is capable of driving. So we're just sitting in there and we accidentally fall asleep because we're drunk. Cops, do. Well, you know what we did before we fell asleep. But cops, do. Hey, what are y'all doing? We're asleep. You can't sleep here. So yeah, I've been there where it's just like, oh, the cops knocking.
I ain't bet no N-word that on no space until you come to Atlanta.
Oh, bitch, I got a just fresh out the box story time for this shit, okay? Listen. This last weekend, just went to Atlanta just to have some fun, kick it with me and my best friend, saw some homegirls, saw some family. Cool shebang. Been about 5 times in my life. Love it every time. But this shit applies to the gay men in Atlanta too. Heavy on the gay men in Atlanta. I probably think more applies to the gay men in Atlanta than the straight men in Atlanta. I go to this bar, I think it's called Friends or something. It's near Midtown or it's in Midtown in Atlanta. Been there before, love it, whatever. I'm waiting on my drinks at the bar, looking cute, looking tray, looking fish, looking everything at the same time. This person taps my shoulder just like, oh girl. I look over, I'm like, okay, am I tweaking? I'm not drinking, so I'm not drunk. Nobody's looking at me. I go back to looking the way I look. Feel another tap. I'm like, hey, bro, stop playing with me. Now, I'm from Chicago. I have a rougher exterior than the people of the South. I don't have the Southern hospitality. My tone ain't that accepting. Like, I'm just naturally a bitch, but I'm nice on the inside. I look over again with a real, like, what the fuck is the problem? The man finally looks over. He's, get the hell on. So I'm clearly giving the message, like, I'm not interested. Like, please don't touch me. This man proceeds to grab my hand and just holds it and starts rubbing it. I'm like, what is you doing, bro? So I'm like, let me be an Atlanta girl for one moment in time. I'm sorry, sir. I have a man. Thinking that would stop him. This man, I swear to God, on my granny tells me, I got one too. You want to meet him? He goes to tap the light-skinned brother next to him. Mind you, the man is like 50. The light-skinned brother is like 29. And points to me. And then the light-skinned brother comes over and looks over like, girl, I don't want your sugar daddy, and I don't want you either, you pretty bottom. What we gonna do, bump purses? So eventually, I'm like, I'm not interested, thank you so much. And then they both gonna give me a stank face like I should be honored to F with them. So I guess me being turned off so much convinced them to leave, because right after that, they got up and walked out the bar like nothing ever happened. I continued to shake it and kick it with my friends till 5 in the morning. And then I have another story from that same weekend. Atlanta is such a fever dream. Like, it feels good to be the majority for once. Because in Chicago, it's some queens out here, but it ain't a lot of queens out here. Most of the queens be not, you feel me? That same night, we went to this place called Marquette. But by the time we got to the Marquette or whatever, it was basically dry, right? It was this fine, light-skinned nigga. I didn't even know he was paying attention to me till I was told by my friend he was paying attention to me. And he gonna look me in my eyes. He was like, yeah, it's kind of dry, but like, y'all should come to this after spot. We finna go right now. And like, whole time, I'm so drunk and I'm so tired, it don't even click like, oh, wow, he was trying to hit on me because he was really looking at me. So I know this took a roller coaster, but if you that fine light-skinned brother that was looking directly in my face, he had on an anime sweater and some Vans, and you was kind of taller than me. You was looking right in my eyes, and I seemed irritated. I'm so sorry, Daddy. I was not irritated. I was just tired and drunk. But if you want to get to know me, you can get to know me. Just know I have a lot of niggas on my roster, and I'm finna make one of my boyfriends, so you better hop on it now. But yeah, that was my story time of my weekend recap in Atlanta, full of weird old sugar daddies, pink messy bottoms, and a fine nigga in the parking lot of Marquette. So if you go to Atlanta, be prepared to get hit on, and be prepared for your personal space to be tested.
I love that for you, friend. Yes, join my roster, honey. That's what I'm talking about. Got hoes in every area code. I tell you, I'm not going back to Atlanta. I'm not. I'm just not. If you've been to Atlanta and you're gay, you know. You know. If you know, you know. I have no desire to go to, and it's crazy because every person that I know have went to Atlanta, they say the same thing, like, I'm good on Atlanta. I am good. When they're not from Atlanta or they've been there for a little bit, like they was like, oh, I moved there for a second, but I moved back. I moved back where I understand. You know, I know too. I am not going back. There's no reason for me to go back. I bump purses. Do you bump purses? Comment in the comments. Y'all noticed that for a split second, that grown man came out. That grown man, instead of that pretty bottom, it was an aggressive top for a second, like, ooh, bark. But that is so true. It's not just Atlanta. That happens everywhere. That happens everywhere. You be like, oh, I'm not interested. I'ma still shoot my shot. No. We got time. We don't have time. No, thank you. The fact that he was just like, oh, I got a man too. But you better shoot your shot, friend. I hope you find that light-skinned dude. And I hope he okay with being on the team. He might be a starting 5. That's cool. At least he get to play. Throwing the ball. Literally. Go ahead and cop that merch. And before you do, subscribe.